What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at another wave of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collection Edition figures. And in this wave, we've got Mr. Terrific, which looks really nice. Nice look for him. And of course, really cool. We'll be seeing him coming up in the new Superman movie. So awesome to get him in a figure form. Then we've got another Green Lantern, this time of Simon Baz. So really nice to get another Green Lantern character. Always nice to have them. And finally, we have Grid, which is pretty much just an evil version of Cyborg. So it'll look a lot like Cyborg, especially like the past ones we've had. So really nice to have him as well. So all three of these look really cool. Of course, there were platinum editions of all these. We do have the platinum versions of Mr. Terrific and Simon Baz, so I will show you those as well. We did see Grid because like our Walmart for some reason had all three platinums just sitting on the shelf one day, but we didn't care much about the Grid and the green look yet, so we skipped that one but got the other two. So we'll be checking out those as well. So let me get them open and out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Mr. Terrific, who is Michael Holt. Now, from a young age, he showed remarkable intelligence, studying advanced science, space, and time, with the ability to pick up complex skills and abilities, earning 14 PhDs to become the third smartest man in the world. He also became a multimillionaire with his high-tech firm Cyberware and winning a gold medal in the Olympics. But he was met by the Spectre, who told him about Terry Sloan, the Golden Age Mr. Terrific, so he took up the name and carried on the legacy, becoming a member of the JSA. Now, of course, his genius level intellect as well as peak physical conditioning, so that he doesn't really have any superpowers himself, but he does use the T-spheres, which are robotic spheres that can project holographic images, create laser grids, self-destruct, generate electrical charges, work as cameras, and allow him to fly. So overall, Mr. Terrific looks cool here. Like I said, this is Michael Holt, so we get more of that more modern outfit design. And as I said, we do also have the Platinum Edition, which is more of the original design. So this looks pretty cool. Of course, he does have the like leather jacket, what's supposed to be, which it is like, you know, fake leather material, but of course it doesn't look too good on with this material design, so I'll probably end up taking it off. But the jacket looks cool, you know, looks like what he wears with the black and white design with the red trim on the outside. Now, usually there's some sort of writing on it, like he has kind of like terrific or fair play, all sorts of different wording and stuff that he uses throughout time, usually like down the arms, on the back, just some sort of design, which they didn't include that on this, so it's just this leather jacket design, which of course I think it looks pretty awkward. Like I said, it doesn't really fit too nice on him. It's kind of big and bulky, so we can take that off so we can also see more of the body. So like I said, it's nice. It includes the jacket and it's nice, you know, fabric material, but unfortunately it doesn't look the best on him. So here we get our figure itself. So there's Michael. Looks pretty nice with his basic Mr. Terrific design. So as I mentioned, usually on the jacket it has fair play, but we get it tattooed on his arm, so we have fair play there on his arm, so that's pretty nice. And then we get a spandex outfit, again mostly in the black and white. We get like the sort of T design here, so go across the top and down the center all in white, all the way down to the boots. Get a little red design there around his waist and around the neck of the outfit as well, so that's pretty nice. And then he wears a T mask, and this time he has the red version, so like especially the old version used to be a black paint, now this one's a red paint, so that looks pretty good. Nice haircut design for him as well. He's got black gloves on. Just everything else about it looks really nice, especially like I said, this being the more modern design, so looks pretty nice overall. Now, moon-wise, we get his head that'll twist all the way around. Can look down that far and up the far. Again, not a whole lot of range, but once you get it moving there, it moves a little bit more. Then we get the shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself there. We get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge on the ball joint, which there it is, so flex back and forth there. Then we get the ab crunch, the upper crunch back and forth and twist around, and then the lower crunch at the waist crunch and twist all the way around. Then we go down to the hips up to 90 and out to the side, can do the splits. A little bit of a thigh twist up there, actually a little bit more of a thigh twist than usual. We get the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, which isn't bad at all. And the foot will flex, which I think his foot's real stiff, but can flex back and forth there and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So it works out pretty decently overall. Obviously not the best, you know, it's the McFarlane bodies that I'm not too excited about overall, but for what it is, you know, it works out just fine, gives him enough range and all that. But accessory wise, as you saw, he came with the jacket. We do also get face plates we can switch out, so this will have the faceplate technology where we can pull the face off and switch them out, so let's do that. So it's relatively easy to pull the face off. You just gotta grab the sides of them, they'll pretty much slide off. That looks creepy. That mouth design looks creepy. It's going to be for the other face that we get. So here's the first face. So this one is just a little bit more angry face. So this one's, you know, more of a stoic face that was on it. Now this one's a little more angry, a little bit of mouth opening there. Looks pretty decent. But the third face plate that we get makes more for the reason why the mouth's there, because his mouth is is open yelling, so it was his tongue sticking out there and stuff, so that looks pretty decent. Very angry looking face there on him, so that's pretty nice with that faceplate ability that we can switch that out. Then we get some accessories with his T-sphere, so we get a hand we can switch out holding a T-sphere here, so we can just switch out this left hand. So there he's just holding the T-sphere there. Then we also get an effect with T-spheres swirling around his hand, so it's kind of like a defense thing. Now it just has a little grip piece there that we can just slide around his hand. So those are sort of swirling around there like he's going to be using them in battle. And then we also get one when I assume is going to be a shield form. So there we get the T-sphere in the center with all this electricity coming out around it. Now it has a clip up top here, which I'm not sure exactly how it goes or how it's supposed to work on, but let's see if I can get it on his arm. So I clipped it on his arm like that, maybe like he's using it as a shield. Of course, I feel it's sort of high up. Maybe if we flipped around, it'd be more like protecting him. The T-sphere would be upside down, but not like it really matters. So maybe there would be more like using it like a shield, protecting more of his body. Or we can put it back on the arm like it was and have it straight out. Maybe like he threw the ball and it's shooting out electricity or something, and not exactly sure what's supposed to be going on. I do like the inclusion of the T-spheres, though. I think it makes it look pretty awesome, especially that's what mostly gives a lot of his powers. So I do like that those are included. Of course, this also came with a base. We can put him on it, so that I'll keep him standing there. And then finally we get his card. So there's the picture of him on there, again in an outfit very similar to what he's wearing, the more modern design there with the T-spheres coming at you. Looks pretty awesome. Then of course on the back we got his story of Michael Holt, which says pre-Flashpoint, Michael Holt lost his wife in an accident and was visited by the Spectre, who told him about the Golden Age Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan. This inspired Holt to become a superhero and continued the Mr. Terrific legacy. He became the chairman of the Justice Society of America and developed a friendly rivalry with Batman. In an ironic twist, the post-Flashpoint Michael Holt was captured by Earth 2 Mr. Terrific Terry Sloan when he was stranded in that reality. So there's a little more story, very much what I said already, but a little more details. So like I said, really nice to get this version of Mr. Terrific. Like I said, the more modern Michael Holt version. But as I mentioned, we did also get the Platinum version. Of course, body-wise and everything, they're exactly the same. They just recolored. So you see it more here where he's got more of the black legs compared to the white. So it comes down here. It's got black in the midsection. Of course, the exact same jacket and all that. The T in the center. So it's pretty much just the opposite of what he's got on there. He's got the black face plane on this time. Of course, still using the T-spheres and all that. I wish he would have the fair plane stuff on his arms and everything, but doesn't on this version, but it still looks pretty nice overall. So we can use this. And now that we have both Mr. Terrific, obviously with the old one more especially, we can throw them in with the JSA. So there's our Mr. Terrific in with the Justice Society of Green Lantern, Commander Steel, Flash, Hawkman, and Wildcat. So again, continuing to build out more of that JSA. So really nice to get Mr. Terrific. Like I said, mostly this one was the more modern version of Michael Holt. So nice to get him as well, but cool that we were able to find the Platinum version with the original as well. So very nice for both of those versions of Mr. Terrific. And then we've got Simon Baz Green Lantern, who is a Lebanese American who he and his Muslim family faced intense suspicion and ostracization for years following the attack on the World Trade Center, but he managed to succeed to higher education until a financial crisis hit and he lost his job. So he turned to illegal street racing that resulted in his arrest and sent to prison until a Green Lantern ring appeared in the prison, choosing him and allowed him to escape. So he looks pretty cool here in this design. Of course, he was introduced more, I want to say, around the New 52 sort of timeline, so it is a more modern Green Lantern. But of course, he gets most of his powers from the Green Lantern ring and the Green Lantern power battery that allows him to use constructs, as most of the Green Lanterns do, and fly and all that. But he also developed the Emerald Sight, which is an ability for Green Lanterns to see into the near future, so he has that extra ability as well. And then especially early on, he used to use a handgun all the time. We don't get one with this version, unfortunately, but we could take a handgun from anything else and give it to him to make it that version. But looks pretty nice overall. So of course he's a Green Lantern, so he has a lot of green going on, and the black as well. So he has a face covering, so most of his face is covered. Now of course with the face design, like around the eyes and the mouth, just with the green especially, this reminds me a lot of Ambush Bug, like just with that design. This could be like his antennas coming up and all that, so kind of weird design there. Of course the Green Lantern logo on his chest. Love how he has the bare arms, so you see more of his arms. He has some writing there on his arm, and like that, I assume it's like Arabic or something there, so he has that written on his arm in green, which is pretty nice as well. Some fingerless black gloves, and of course black costume going all the way down to the green boots there, and just a nice design overall. Like I said, the face I don't like overall too much. Just like I said, it reminds me of Ambush Bug, but otherwise I still think he looks really cool. Now moon-wise, we get that'll twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far. So again, pretty decent movements. Not the best, but not bad at all. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate all the way around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself there. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, the upper ab crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then the waist crunch back and forth and twist around. Then we go down to the hips up to 90, out to the side to the splits, a little bit of a thigh twist, about the same as Mr. Terrific, so pretty decent. The double knee joint back that far, again, very similar because it looks like the same body as Mr. Terrific. Down to the foot, that again is pretty stiff, but rock back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So yeah, like I said, with it being the same body, of course, it's going to be moving everything the exact same way as Mr. Terrific, which works out pretty decently. So overall, like I said, as usual, not the best, but works out good for what they are. But accessory wise, very similar to Mr. Terrific, we do also get face plates. So there he's got his teeth sort of gridded, so we get more of a stoic face. So we can switch that again, very similar to Mr. Terrific. You just grab onto the side and the plates will come off and you can place the new ones on. So there's more of a stoic face, which I don't think is bad. Like I said, I just think the eyes look really weird because obviously they're supposed to be realistic, but they just have a weird like shine to them, so it kind of makes them look awkward in there. And then we get another face that looks kind of angry there, like with the teeth gritted. So it doesn't look too far off from that first one, but this one seems, at least looks to me, more like a smile, where this one definitely looks angry, so you get those different options. But I think overall the best face is just the stoic one, so I'll probably just put that one back on. And as usual with the Green Lantern characters, we get all sorts of energy constructs. So we get his Green Lantern power battery, so nice big power battery here that we can give to him, put in his hand, but just a nice construct looking version of the power battery. Then we get all sorts of hand accessories, so we get a big like punching fist glove, so it's a big like robotic hand that we can take and just slide onto his hand here that has the fist, so it'll go on the right hand, obviously matching with the design, so you just slide that on there, so you got the big punching fist, as well as we also get a drill hand, so it turns into a big like auger drill that we can slide on, so that'll go onto his hand as well. So he's got the big drill, so that looks pretty cool. And then we also comes with a big like mallet hammer, so we can put this into his grip hand. So there he can go into work on people with a drill and hammer now, so that is pretty awesome. Of course, we do get a base to put him on, which I may be having some issues getting him to stand, but nothing too bad. Just in certain positions he keeps falling, so that'll help keep him standing there. We also get his card, so there's a nice picture of him there. Looks pretty cool. And of course, on the back, we'll get the story of Simon Baz, which is a Muslim growing up in Michigan. Simon Baz was often the target of bigotry. After he lost his job in an automotive plant, Simon started stealing cars to make ends meet. One night, he stole a van and discovered a ticking bomb inside of the vehicle. After a high-speed chase, he was taken into custody as a suspected terrorist. Amid harsh interrogation by federal agents, a power ring sought Baz out, conferring on him the abilities and responsibilities of a Green Lantern. A reluctant superhero, Baz considered the selection a mistake and sought to do his best to help people. So there's more of the story on him, which is pretty nice. Now, as I mentioned, I did also get the platinum version of this, so we get this version, which is Solomon Baz, which became a power ring, so part of like the crime syndicate. So that looks pretty cool, so nice design for him. So that'll fit him, could use him as a member of the crime syndicate, which we already have the power ring from that, so just a different version of John Stewart here. So now we got two different power rings. Of course, this one I don't believe was ever part of the crime syndicate, but we could obviously use that for that if we want, since it is another power ring. So just cool to get that version. But of course, now that we have Simon, we can add him in with the rest of our Green Lanterns. So here we have our 5 Green Lanterns so far. So we got Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, and now Simon Baz. And of course, we will be getting Guy Gardner here soon, so we'll add him in as well. So very nice to continue to build out our Earth Sector Green Lantern characters. And our final character today is Grid, which Cyborg realized the technology keeping him alive had telecommunication abilities that kept watch on all superhumans on Earth, but not wanting to invade their privacy, he let a secondary cybernetic software called the Grid compile all that information. But this software began to grow and develop a neural network, which became fully sentient with the help of Atomica. Grid ended up stealing Cyborg's cybernetic prosthesis to make a body for itself, and he joined up with the crime syndicate as Grid, serving as their data hub. So of course he's got a robotic body with supreme strength and durability, as well as regeneration, shape-shifting, energy projection, and technopathy. So it looks pretty cool here. Like this design, we do not have the platinum of this. Like I said, I did see it in store, just didn't care for it because it's mostly all of a green color that I didn't like too much and didn't look very cool or anything, so just went with this version. But of course this is based off Cyborg, which I forgot to grab that Cyborg. We've had a McFarlane of it pretty much before, so very similar in design, probably just tweaked it obviously to turn it into Grid. Grid here, but it's very much just like a cyborg body, just sort of recolored. So we get a big head on here that's almost like a skull-like design. So we get the missy nose, the like open eyes, although it's nice to have like the green one over here to the side. The big teeth that I love how they're like all rusty or red, so it kind of looks like blood all over them, which is crazy. We get like the green dots all over, so you get the 2 on the head, 1 in the eye, and the ones running down the body as well. Again, nice black underneath there, and then the rest is all like the cybernetic parts of the body, so it looks pretty nice. We get these big like shoulder armors up here that do move around, so you can adjust those, and then we get the big arms, so the big robotic arms there on one side, and the robotic gun, again, like Cyborg, can transfer the body parts into different pieces. Then we get the belt around the waist, and of course the big legs come down into the big boots, so big chunky body. This thing is huge, so obviously compared to our other McFarlanes, this is a lot bigger, but it does look pretty nice, you know, just like a big evil version of Cyborg that goes along with our crime syndicate. Now, moon-wise, we get that all twist around, of course, with the big shoulder piece. Not really going to twist too much, a little side to side there, and it can look down that far and up that far. So it looks just about straight on, but will look down pretty decent, so not bad. We get the shoulders that come up, and of course, with the shoulder armor there, it gets out of the way. So up to 90, of course, has like the butterfly and rotates around. We get the bicep twist. Now, this arm only has a single joint that bends there for the gun, but of course, with the other arm, we do get like the double elbow joint design that'll bend up that far, so not too bad at all for that. And then get the wrist that will twist around there and flex back and forth, so it's a little bit hard and nice and spiky and stuff, so it kind of hurts there, but we get that movement. Then we go to the ab crunches, so get the upper crunch and twist, and then at the waist crunch, again hard to get a hold of this, but a crunch and twist around there. Then we go down to the hips, that'll come up to 90 and out to the side to do the splits there. We get a thigh twist up in there and the single knee joint back that far, and there is some rotation in the lower section. Down to the foot, that'll rock back and forth, again real stiff as usual, but can rock back and forth, twist a little side to side, and the toe joint on the end. So big chunky body that's hard to deal with and pretty hard to get the movements because it's just so stiff, so you just have to mess with all that, and it does hurt, like I said, because he's got a lot of pokey pieces, so it hurts the hand messing with him. But there we get the Grid now, which looks pretty nice, all big and tough in his robotic body. Now, accessory wise, we don't get anything with him, probably because he's so big and has the gun already on his arm and all that, so we didn't get any accessories with him, but we get the base that we can put him on. Although with his big chunky feet, you don't really need the base at all. He stands pretty easy with no issues. Then he also comes with a display for his card, so we get that as well, which none of the others did, and I think they're kind of phasing these out, but like I said, I assume since he doesn't come with any accessories, they decided to throw that in just as an extra piece. So we get the card there of the Grid, so you can see him. That looks pretty awesome from the comics. And then we get the story, of course, no real name, but it says Grid was a software program that gathered information for Cyborg. The program grew and evolved into a living computer virus. In its new malevolent form, this sentient form of artificial intelligence attacked the Justice League, forming an alliance with Earth 3's crime syndicate. For its invulnerable services, Grid demanded 2 things: a body culled from the robotic prosthesis of Cyborg, and emotions, which was his ultimate goal. So there's more details on Grid, which is pretty nice. Now, as I said, now that we have Grid here, we can throw him in with our crime syndicate members. So there's Grid with our crime syndicate. So we got Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, Power Ring, and of course, hard to see, but down here we have Atomica as well, which again was part of giving him his powers. So very nice to be able to add that Grid in with the rest of our crime syndicate, filling out more of that team. Well, that's it for our McFarlane Toys McFarlane Collector Edition figures, where we got Mr. Terrific, Simon Baz, Green Lantern, and Grid. All these are pretty cool, especially getting Mr. Terrific and Simon with their Platinum Edition. So we get the Mr. Terrific as well as the Power Ring version of Simon, so that's pretty awesome. And then Grid just looks cool as a big cyborg-like character there just in the background. So it looks pretty nice and overall nice figures, especially love adding Mr. Terrific to our collection. So let me know what you thought of all these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.